Welcome back to the Fandamentals Podcast, where we talk all things related to sports from a fan's perspective. This is an opinion-based show. It's our opinion. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But would love for y'all to join us, converse with us if you got something you want us to talk about or you got something you want to engage with us about, please feel free to do that. We would love the input. This episode, we're going to be talking about the NFL power rankings for week 11. We're going to talk about the Nico Harrison firing. We're going to talk about the Lakers and what it may look like when LeBron comes back and some random things from there. But those are going to be the big premise things. We'll start with the NFL power rankings. The list that I gave y'all was the PFT one, right? So that one's done by, I think that's NBC. So
Pro Football Focus or something.
yeah. So first of all, the Rams are number one on the list, but I feel like the top five is not. In my opinion, is not accurate because you're leaving out, Seattle, who you're leaving out. I mean, because when you take a look at it, you have the Rams, the Colts, the Broncos, the Lions, and the Eagles. I personally feel like you could take the Eagles out of the top five, and even if you left them, I feel like you could take them out and replace them with the Seahawks. And quite honestly, I feel like you could probably take out. This is probably going to sound crazy, but you could swap the Lions and the Patriots just due to inconsistencies, in my opinion.
Doesn't sound like out of balance for me, because I can see that. I can see swapping those two out, and I can see the Eagles falling out for Seattle to be into. I can see swapping out the Lions for Seattle, and either way it goes, I feel like Seattle and the Patriots should be in the top five right now. Personally,
Seattle and Patriots should be in the top five. Okay, so Gary, I'm going to tell you this. I think the Broncos probably should be maybe 4 or 5.
Oh, I don't think they should be in the top five.
If they're going to be in the top 5, they should be 4 or 5. Now,
they shouldn't. Yeah,
they do not look good when they win these games. Just like the Eagles don't look good when they win these games.
Yeah.
The Eagles very well could have lost Monday night. Like it was
defensive and
ugly. It was sloppy play offensively on both sides of the ball, in my opinion, in that Monday night game. I do feel like Green Bay they didn't seem prepared offensively to me. Defensively, okay, but offensively, they just didn't seem prepared, in my opinion. And I think when you go back and look at Green Bay and you look at Jordan Love, we've seen him look good in times. But then we've seen where it's almost like he regressed. Like he made so many mistakes. Monday night. Like I was watching the game, and even the one where he fumbles, it's like, what were you trying to do? You're already wrapped up. Like they have you wrapped up, and you're still trying to throw the ball. Just go down like that. You're some of the passes that he made were it was kind of like where you know what I mean, like where you should be passing the ball. That wasn't a good throw. I don't know. I've seen a lot of issues offensively, and that goes to the play calling too. Some of the play calling, it was almost I was laying there. I was like, oh, they're finna run the zone, right? This zone running game. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it got so predictable by the third quarter. I kind of just knew what they were doing offensively. Now, in the fourth quarter, they were able to make a drive, but that was sheer effort on the offensive end, right? And even when you go back and look at when Philadelphia scored, it was the same kind of deal. It was Barkley gets a big run, and then you get a pass, a nice pass. It just, I don't know if it was so much about defense. It seemed more about just poor offense,
Bad
in my
play
opinion.
calling, bad offense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
My
see.
opinion of LaFleur has changed this season because it seems like a lot of the
Yes.
problems that the Packers are having are because of bad coaching.
Well,
That's
Jordan Love has made some bad reads too.
Sure.
yeah,
That
but
same, they're
but
not, they're not clicking like how. I mean,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year, we looked at the Green Bay Packers, and we're
Exactly.
thinking, "Oh man,
well,
this is about to be it."
part
And
of
the
that's
last
coaching.
few weeks has been pretty
Hmm.
bad. Yeah, but Love hasn't been always. He ain't been on point either. He ain't been the sharpest tool in the drawer yet either. Because I've seen
I
him. He's been making a
Yeah.
lot of those mistakes
Yeah.
that he shouldn't be making. Bad decisions. Like you just spoke to one of them. Like just go
Hmm.
down
yeah
instead of trying to make a play.
Sure.
You know
no
what
Sure.
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
He's missing people. That one time he ran when he had open receivers. Like you're not. Sometimes he just doesn't read the field well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's not as sharp as we would hope he would be by this many.
Yeah.
Where he's at as far as like where he's at progressing each year.
This is his third year
Like
as the
last year,
starting
you was
quarterback.
like you
Yeah.
was looking at him like, yeah. Last year, you was looking at him like, oh man, he's
Hmm.
about to be. And
Hmm.
now you're in this year. Started out, it's like okay, now he seemed to be kind of tapering back the other way, and it's
Yeah.
coaching, but it's also players. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's also how
Do
he's playing.
well, do we have an issue with development of quarterbacks right now? Like, could we look at the league and be like, there's an issue with developing quarterbacks? Like, I don't think I
Mm,
think,
I
in my
don't think
opinion,
so.
I believe that we do, and I think a lot of it has to do with because we live in a right now society, and so these coaches want already made quarterbacks, like
no,
plug and play, and
I want to
so,
say not to cut you off. I want to say yes, but then at the end of the day, I say no. I think certain teams are having problems with developing quarterbacks
Hmm.
because you look at Denver, Bo Nix. They don't have a problem with him. He's been making plays, even though their offense hasn't been
but
clicking until like the fourth quarter.
no, Bo
Or
Nix
you,
hasn't looked great this season.
he hasn't
Their
looked great this
team has
season.
just
Look,
found a way to win.
but they're playing sorry teams though, so I'm not high on the Broncos at all this
But
year. Because
but
you look
it's
at the
not even
teams that
about.
they've beaten the Giants, they've beaten the Jets, they beat the Raiders, and these all were close games where they should have actually
That's
lost.
true.
The
Yeah, but at the end of
Titans
the day,
game,
they
I know
Yeah,
they won, that's cool,
you
but
still
they're
8-2.
either yeah, yeah, it's 7-2, but
You
yeah,
still
they're
8-2.
still
It's
yeah,
seven to
yeah,
two, but it's
yeah,
like you got to
there's
think about it. It
I'm
ain't.
I'm not getting my
Sometimes
hopes
it
up.
ain't.
I yeah,
Sometimes we look at it, it's like how Saquon Barkley said, it
sure.
ain't how you. He's like, I thought that winning is winning. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win the game. You know what I'm saying? Like when you
But
it
talk
I
about
does
think
the
though.
if they
Arizona
get to the
game, when
playoffs,
you talk about the Arizona,
yeah,
but like look at that Arizona game. They scored 24 points in the one quarter to kind of come back and win that one. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't see this very often that teams do things like that. You could say bad defense, but you can also say look at it from other ways, other portions. Or when we talking about development as a quarterbacks, look at Sam Donald. When he started out, he wasn't, but the last few years, he's done gone to some, and he's
yeah,
done overhauled his whole career. Daniel
yeah.
Jones has looked good except for the last 2 weeks. He's looked good for the most part. I don't think we
That
have a development of quarterback
that
issues. I think that certain teams just can't
but that's
develop
what I mean.
quarterbacks. Yeah.
It's more teams than it once was.
But it's always been because when you look at it, when you look at it, the Jets have always had bad quarterbacks for a while. They didn't have for years. It's been going on for years for the Jets, and they're still struggling. Chicago, they've always had a history of
Oh,
terrible,
buddy.
not really developing quarterbacks for years. You got some teams that
Rex
hit on
Grossman was
things.
serviceable.
Don't start with me with Rex Grossman. Just because he went to the Super Bowl don't mean that he had a okay season.
He was serviceable.
Okay, he was terrible. Okay, well, he wasn't all that great. Yeah, I guess you could say so, but that doesn't mean he's a good. That still doesn't make them a good development of a quarterback team. Cleveland, they've had quarterback issues for years too. I mean,
So so
the
when
last
I
time
say
Cleveland probably had a decent quarterback or anything like that was, I mean, yeah, you say Deshaun Watson, but he looked terrible over
Not
there
in
in
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
yeah. No. You could say Bernie
So
Kosar probably, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like you are looking at teams that just have a bad rep with QBs. They're just not good. Carolina had lucked out with Cam Newton for years. And ever since he's been gone, they've been kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like you get a
yeah,
good talent that has escalated the team somewhere, but
it's
I
Yeah.
will say
it
that most
it
I
comes down
see the
to a
same amount of teams have bad quarterback issues, period.
it comes down to patience though, because I don't believe you can't convince me that coaches coach quarterbacks the same way. They definitely expect them to know more, and they plug and play them, right? They expect them to be um ready, right? Like the same expectations now are not the same expectations in the 80s or 90s, right?
Well, a lot of
You can't
times,
convince me that. And
a-
so yes, there is a
you,
developmental issue, right? It
Yes,
doesn't
but
mean that a team go ahead.
I was gonna say you also have to look at it from a lot of standpoints. Back in the day, it wasn't very many rookie QBs that just came in and just, you know what I'm saying, and were thrown into the fire. Very few teams just threw their QBs out into the fire. You was usually behind somebody and you were developing. Now they are throwing them into the fire because they're based off of potential. Your potential, and this is what we. I mean, but if you want to talk about ropes, look at Trevor Lawrence. We already talked about him. He got a huge contract. He ain't showed nothing out of it. Some teams just have a longer rope than other
Well,
QBs.
he got the contract because what else was what it was it's the same thing with the 49ers. Who else were they gonna it was Brock Purdy. Who else were they gonna get?
Hey, well, don't say that because Brock Purdy took us to the Super Bowl, dude. That's a whole different ball game from a winning QB
Hey,
versus somebody like Trevor
look,
Lawrence
Ma-
who can't
Brock
win.
Pur- look, Brock Purdy hasn't hardly played this season, and look at y'all's record. Matt Jones is still,
I mean, look at us last year when we didn't have nobody that was a backup, and
but now you do. So
and we didn't
I
have
mean,
weapons out there either. I mean, yeah, you could always say that, but I mean, every now and then somebody comes in and gets a little hot. That's how Brock Purdy took Garoppolo's position. He came in and he got hot. Look at prime example, the so-called GOAT, Tom Brady. He came in off of somebody being injured and
yeah,
just happened to grow into something a role. It just happens. I mean, it's not often that it happens, but it happens. That's not still saying Brock Purdy is terrible for QB. It
I
just somebody
didn't
comes in, he came in
didn't
and he's
say he
hot.
was terrible. But do you think he's a top five quarterback in the league?
No, we already talked about that. I
Okay,
don't think he's a
exact.
top
That's
five
my
QB
point.
in the league, but what does that mean? Is Trevor Lawrence a top five QB in the league?
No,
No. But we see teams
but
stick with people longer than they have. Daniel Jones got a big contract. They could have gone anywhere other than Daniel Jones where he was with the Giants.
I
They decided to
I
keep him.
I'll give you an example. So no, I agree with you. I agree with you. But like like Gary, we were talking about Bo Nix, right? I
hmm
don't even think. I mean, honestly, Bo Nix is. I mean, he's definitely not top 10, probably not even top 15, right?
Of course not.
But
No,
at the
no.
end of his contract, at the end of his contract, he's gonna get signed.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're winning.
they're,
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's
they're
winning
gonna
and
sign
yeah.
him, right?
He's going in he's going in the right direction, I think, as a quarterback. Um, and the most important thing, like Adrian said, he's winning games. I mean, that's the most important thing right there. But you talk about, I mean, they're letting McCarthy um, develop up in Minnesota, even though he's having all
Yeah,
the troubles he's having. They let Darnold go, and after he took him to a 14-3 season or whatever, and now
Yeah,
I've got the Seahawks as the number one team in the NFL right now,
and look,
and
and then look
it's
at Dylan
because of what
Gabriel.
he's doing in there and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the teams are giving these quarterbacks too much room. Um,
That's how I'm
I
feeling.
yeah,
that's
I mean, even
I'm but
I hate to say it, even Joe Burrow. I mean, he gets injured every other year, and part of that might be because
He's really
they
good
don't
though.
have any
He ain't helping
protection.
though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's on for 1 year and he's off for a year. I mean, that's been his career. He's been the comeback player of the year twice already in his career. Um,
Yeah.
and they can't bring any help in because they're paying him and Higgins and all and Jamar,
Jamar Chase.
all
Hmm.
that money and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be his career is just, one super season where he went to the Super Bowl where he, caught
Hmm.
fire, and the
Hmm.
rest of the time he's injured because it's the Bengals, just like the Browns and their quarterback problems that Adrian was
Or you
talking
go
about, and the
back into
Jets.
yeah, and then you could always go back to people like Kirk Cousins. Like
Yeah,
he wasn't blowing nobody out the water, but he stayed relevant for Washington for years until he
yeah.
left
Kirk
them.
Cousins has a hell of an agent.
Well,
Hey, cool,
Somebody
good for him.
you could say,
But
I
whoever.
but
mean, yeah,
Kirk
he do.
Cousins,
I mean, but
look what he did. I
he's
mean,
serviceable.
because he was RG3's backup because they threw RG3 into the fire
Hmm.
when he came out in
Yeah.
Washington, and Kirk Cousins just sat back and studied the playbook and was ready to go. And when it was time, and we knew RG3, as little as he is and as much running as he did, that he wasn't going to
He
last
was
long.
done.
And it was like second game of his second season, after
Yeah,
that
Shanahan
wonderfully
didn't do him
fun
right.
first season. And oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Shanahan.
Shanahan shouldn't have played him in that playoff. He shouldn't have played him in
He
that
shouldn't
playoff
have.
game.
He shouldn't have played him in that
He
That
playoff
was
was,
game.
it.
yeah, yeah. And then Cousins goes to Minnesota and he has a great run up there. And then he then he gets sent down
And then
to
he goes to
Atlanta
Atlanta, then gets
with
sat
a
down.
big contract, and then they draft
So
Michael
guess what?
Penix. Yeah. So
They
Hmm.
now
drafted somebody to take his spot.
yeah,
So it's
he's a
like
$50 million backup quarterback. So,
it's like
but they're
I
also
want.
they're giving the rookie Penix, all the
Hmm.
leeway and all of the
Yeah.
room to grow, and stuff. So, he's a $80 million mentor right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how I look at it is like a development standpoint. I mean, you can always have like your debate on that.
sure.
Like I want to say I just think that some organizations tend to have a smaller leash than others. But
Yeah.
what I'm looking at, some of these people, they're actually lasting longer than what they really should be starting
Hmm.
QB. Like look at the Saints.
Yeah.
Just let Tyler Shook play all season.
Just let them play all
Y'all
season
Yeah.
aren't gonna do
because
Yeah.
nothing.
you
Y'all
have
aren't gonna
nothing else.
win nothing.
Now,
Yeah.
Let them play
I
all
also
season.
I will say some players have a shorter rope than others. I mean, we've seen some players just don't get the opportunity. Anthony Richardson, he didn't look too hot his first 2 years. Now he's replaced by Daniel Jones, who ain't looked good but one season his whole entire career. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so
Well,
some people they rope
I
is
think when
super
Anthony
thin. Some people have a longer
Richardson
rope.
when Richardson took himself out of that game last year,
Yeah, that
when
was bad.
he
I felt
basically
bad for him
quit,
though.
man. Um, I don't know if he's ever going to come back from that because that's one of
I
the
mean, but
things
the
you
man
can
was.
do. That's
I mean, the man was gassed though. I mean, if you gas, you. I'm kind of like, if you said you was gassed and you was tired, I mean, they running you almost like you the running back out there. That's kind of crazy. So,
I think I think it's just we never seen that, right?
yeah,
Because we've he's not the first quarterback that's run, right? We've watched Michael Vick do it. We watched Cam do it.
yeah,
We watch Bryce,
Lamar
Bryce
Jackson,
Young has been in a
Josh
situation
Allen.
where he was,
yeah. But the problem
Josh
with it
Allen,
is he
Lamar
came off
Jackson,
that. He came off a pretty good injury, so he
Randall
ain't never really
Cunningham.
have no. I don't know. I still don't think you punish the man for that for one little situation. Like he
Yeah.
only did it
I-
one time. Why you punishing him like this? Like really,
Yeah.
y'all took him
Well,
a whole.
but
Y'all sat him
yeah,
down a
no.
whole game after that. It's like
Oh, I agree, and I don't, and that's not me endorsing Daniel Jones at all. Because when Daniel
yeah,
Jones
yeah,
had his one good year in New York, it's because Saquon Barkley was running,
yep.
and he's
yeah,
having a good year now because Anthony Richardson is just killing it.
Uh,
So
Thomas
Um,
Taylor, Jonathan
oh,
Taylor.
I'm sorry, Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
But yeah, because of the running that he's doing.
Yeah, and then when they
that's
are
true.
zero, and if you notice when they've been zeroing in, trying their best to slow down Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor, Daniel Jones has caused like we
Yeah.
just came over Sunday, and I was watching the game, and you was just like, dang, he Daniel Jones, what he do, fumble.
Yeah,
He was just like he just did that
second
earlier in the
turnover.
game. He threw it a second turnover. Last
Yeah,
Yeah.
week
Well, I
he had
mean,
5 out of the 6. It's
he
just
had
like
to.
when they
Well, Taylor had to run for like 250 yards in order to beat
240
Atlanta
something yards
yeah,
that
to
game to
beat
beat
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
in
Yes.
overtime. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a Daniel Jones fan. I think he
Mm-mm.
might be a good manager for a team that's got an MVP running back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
clearly.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Well, we go back to the New York days, right? And
Hmm.
Dayball's been fired, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't. I think New York needs a complete overhaul now because you have Dart, and we know, okay, he's not playing next week. It's going to be Jameis Winston playing, right?
Hmm.
Um,
my man.
Russell Wilson, that his ship has sailed. It's time for him to
Yeah, I
go
hope
off
this
into the
is his
sunset,
last
man.
year. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just shut it
go
down,
be
man. Enjoy
Mrs.
your
Go be
family.
Mr. Ciara. Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
go go
You know,
tour with
You
her
kind of
and
had
have
high hopes
enjoy
for
your
him, but
life.
now it just done.
yeah,
Sure,
He's
it,
just
it,
he's just making bad decisions out there too.
yeah,
he's running scared. Yeah,
this is time. This is the time. New York just says destroy, rebuild with the young pieces we have. You have a good growing defense. The defense is growing. It's getting better. It's looking competent. Um, work on rebuilding your offensive line this offseason. You have a good young, Malik Neighbors should be back next year. Scatterboo, we don't know how long he's going to be out, but that looks promising. They got two young running backs. I can't
I don't
remember
know
that
how
other
long
running back's
Scadaboo's
name.
gonna be though. I mean, the way he plays, that doesn't seem like a very long career. You know?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I agree
Especially for a
1,000%.
running backs, their shelf life is so limited in the NFL
But
these
but
days,
some of them
anyways.
learn.
And man,
Some of them learn.
Mhm.
I remember watching an interview with Jerome Bettis, and when he got drafted from Notre Dame by the Rams, they,
oh,
you know, they interviewed him, and he said, "Hey, in college, I could run people over, and it wasn't really that big of an issue, but in the NFL, they're as strong as me, if not stronger, and so I had to learn how to
Mhm.
move. I had to learn how
sure.
to, my footwork had to get better. I
You
had
got to
to
change up.
avoid contact, and I mean, I don't know that Scottaboo has that kind of mentality. He strikes me as a no, I want the contact. Very very much like a Steven Jackson, right? Like Steven Jackson for the Rams was like that. Like no, like I want the contact all the time. But everybody's not built to uphold that for that many years. I think if we're, when you look at Jerome Bettis' career, it lasted as long as he did because he learned how to move. I think if he was
Mhm.
the running back that he was in college, his career doesn't last that long. And to your point, Gary, to what you were saying, I agree with Scatterboo. If if he doesn't learn how to avoid the contact and and continues to play the way he's playing, I I I think he maybe has 4 years, maybe you know, and
I
Yeah,
hope not, cause I like them boy.
I love
I
him.
like him a lot. I like him a lot.
He's an Arizona State kid. I love him. We're alums, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's yeah. I
He's
hope
exciting.
I love his attitude. I love how hard he plays. I mean, he's a
Mhm.
throwback, which is refreshing these days. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope
Reminds me of
that he has a long career.
kind of like a Mike Allstott.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
too.
can
Yeah.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Jacobs from the Giants back in the day when they had the Thunder and
Oh
Lightning.
yeah, Brandon Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just running
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
people. I love
I
that kind of running.
I kind of think that with the Giants, like you said, I already think the Giants blew up their team anyway. Once they let Saquon go, they were already thinking rebuild.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
They,
kind of
but
And
how
they
I
they
felt
have good
anyway.
pieces to
but
do
they
it.
have, yeah, they
Yeah,
have good
they do.
pieces. I think
They
Dart's going
really
to be
do.
a good quarterback. I love that Jameis Winston is there to be a mentor to him. I think
Yes,
he's
yes.
really embraced that role. Um,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I mean, he can go in there. I think he's going to have a good game the next game. But
Oh, Jameis
yeah,
Winston is definitely one that can either shoot you in or out of a game. That's
yeah,
for sure.
I
Yeah.
think they got the
I love
people
his
that
energy
in a
though.
few years, yeah, in a few years they could be um,
Hmm.
winning their division. I think, especially if they can bring in some good weapons on the rookie salary that they got with Dart right now. Until
Yeah.
he wins a couple games, and then they have to pay him, what they pay mid, you know, successful quarterbacks. But
Now
Yeah.
we're in the conversation about quarterbacks, right? Um,
yeah,
we know Cleveland is a shit show. We know like they often just mishandle everything. Would you? I don't think so, but there's conversations that Kevin Stefanski is not even giving Shadeur Sanders a chance because like he's possibly trying to get fired. Right? I don't know. But
Well, he's
it
dang sure doing a
strikes
good
me as
job at trying to get fired.
it
no
it
doubt.
strikes me as odd that they're not even considering giving. Why did you draft him at all? Like they don't even like. It has to be jersey sales. It has to be jersey sales. Like
Yeah,
I can't see any other reason why you would have drafted him if you don't even like want to give him any kind of chance. You don't want him with first team reps. You don't want him with
right.
you. Like there's no other reason for him to be on the team with the way that we watch Stefanski speak of him, when we watch the organization speak of him. Like it's like, oh yeah, he's just here, right? It's almost that's like really what it seems like. Yeah, we know we're not even considering that, right?
Yeah,
It's like what other
What's
reason is he there? Like what is
I was gonna
Cleveland
say one
doing?
thing.
it's
What's one
Cleveland,
way to
man.
ruin? I was gonna say, well, if you really want to think about it, like we all was shocked that most people was shocked that Shador didn't even go in the first round, right? He slips all the way to the fifth. We all wondering why did he slip to the fifth? Because really, I don't think there was really that many. I don't think there was that many quarterbacks in that. Shador should have been
It,
number one or two. That's really
Yeah,
how I felt
yeah,
like when it comes to
at
quarterbacks
worst
in that
three.
that draft. At
yeah.
worst, three.
The worst.
So think about it. What's one way to be able to conspiracy theory, blackball a guy out of the league or something? Let's see. Okay, we could either make him go undrafted, but everybody's already making too much noise about him not being drafted first round. So to make it look good, let's go draft him up real quick, and then we could just bury him into a roster and never play him. You can't say he
Well,
wasn't drafted. you
it
But
know,
why
it
would they?
doesn't
and it
Why would they
it
looks
try
doesn't
to
bad, but
blackball him? I don't understand.
I
Does
don't
the
know.
NFL
I don't
hate
know.
Dion? I mean, because I always thought Dion was a pretty lovable figure, in the NFL. Maybe I'm wrong with
he's
that. Who knows, man?
Maybe it's just the way that Shador carried. A lot of people don't like Shador when he came out of high school. They think he's too cocky or whatever. I mean,
He's
out of
just like his
college,
dad.
think he's
Yeah.
too
I mean,
cocky or
it's,
whatever.
but
Yeah,
that
but that's just
so
confidence.
yeah, he has a certain level of confidence, but you can tell he's raised right. You could tell he's humble.
yeah,
You could tell
yeah,
he like look, he does all the right things. He's like, hey, I don't know why, they're not playing me. That's not for me to worry about. I just stay ready.
Yeah,
And and look, he hasn't been making nothing about him. He's
yeah.
just been trying to lay low and do his thing.
Nobody's
Um,
talking
hmm
about him. Yeah.
I and personally, I think when Ryan Dayball had said all that stuff about him with the interview and all of that, I think Ryan Dayball was lying.
hmm
I
that's
do.
probably a possibility.
I think
Definitely,
Ryan
we don't know.
Daboll is lying. And you know,
But
here's the
see, my
thing.
problem is my thing comes back to is just like there has to be something that went on because or they're trying to do something only because of the fact there's 32 teams. Anybody could have picked them up. There's teams that really needed a QB.
Yeah.
They decided to
Yeah.
pass on them. So that's a collective. To me, that's a collective thing that's going on. Y'all are
Oh yeah, absolutely.
collectively trying to find ways to, I guess, either show out Dion or you're trying to find ways to humble the kid or whatever. Which he's had a cocky. He say cocky. He's always had a confident but yet a humble individual. He's never been one that was going to be a troublemaker or anything. Maybe it's because he comes from money. He acts like he's supposed to act. I don't know what's
Yeah.
the reason why he's in this position, or the reason why he fell so far into a draft because an interview versus his. If he had such a bad interview, his talent already speaks higher than
Yeah.
what you're going to get out of the interview.
I mean,
I
look at
want
what
a
he did
QB
for
if he's
Colorado. Yeah.
cocky or yeah, if he
Exactly.
got a confidence and he's in an interview answering questions with confidence or whatever in himself, I'm looking for that
Uh-huh.
with my franchise
Sure.
because that's what I want on my quarterback. I want a confident
Agreed.
QB.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Or if you
Every
cocky, I would
player
love to
is
have a
cocky.
cocky QB because guess what?
You're
Baker
right.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker
They're all like,
Mayfield was cocky.
yeah.
And look what he's came into. So it's just like it is one, it is Cleveland. They're just
Well,
terrible with
well,
QBs.
and that maybe
Two,
that's a silver
man.
lining. Yeah, maybe that's the silver lining is just like Baker Mayfield. He's coming up in Cleveland and he can get out of there as soon as possible and actually begin his career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that might be it. Maybe that might be
Yeah.
it. I
Get
hope for the
I
best for the
get
guy.
him
I
out of
hope
I would
so.
like to
Cleveland,
see him
man. Get
play
him out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
because I don't know what they're thinking about not even trying to play him when Dylan Gabriel looks like trash. But whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this would be the
for
year
sure.
to go for, the division because the Ravens are down, the Steelers are, you know, inconsistent,
Yeah.
and the Bengals, don't have Joe Burrow. So if
Yeah,
there's any
they
time,
was gonna go
this
for it.
would
They
be the
should have.
year. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, really should have because now the
Hmm.
Ravens is getting hot.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ravens are
And
climbing right back up.
Joe Burrow's supposed to be back in 2 weeks. He's practicing.
Good. I hope so,
Oh,
man.
okay.
I I,
Yeah.
I love watching Joe Burrow play. I really do. But man,
I mean, it's too late
that
for my
poor dude.
fantasy team because I got Jamar Chase and he ain't been looking good fantasy wise. So
Oh, I don't
it
even
is
want to
what it
talk
is.
about
My
my
fantasy
fantasy
league's over
league.
with.
I know.
Yeah, I'm out.
You
I'm
know what?
already out the playoffs. I was out the
I'm
playoffs two
gonna
weeks
I'm
ago.
gonna switch
I
my
did.
team name to bye week because I lose. If you play me, it's just like having a bye, man.
I
I'm
lost to the other day. I ain't gonna lie, just to throw off. I lost to a team that was not even controlled by a player, a person, and they had three people out.
oh
That's how
wow.
That's
terrible my
how I was
team been
too.
all year
Oh
long.
gosh.
That's how terrible they've been.
That's
Yes.
bad.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I
bad.
I've
I've,
been.
I've I don't even look at my roster anymore. I don't even really go on there. I
I
might go on there and be
started.
like, well, let
Yeah,
me set
I
up
started
this.
with Jaden Daniels, and he's been doing his thing, and then I switched to Jones, and uh, yeah,
It's been
I'm.
bad.
Yeah.
It's the worst
I don't
fantasy
need,
year I've had all in my time playing fantasy football.
yeah, yeah, I might be done with fantasy football after this year because I don't even
So
want to
so
try.
last year I didn't do fantasy football. Last year. And this year I didn't do fantasy football. And I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of refreshing. I don't gotta
Yeah,
worry about it. Like, do I miss it?
I
Yeah. Will I
know.
step back into it next year? Probably. But like I gave myself the mental break from it. And it's felt pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie.
I might end up taking a mental break
I
forever.
had to
You don't tell
detox
me.
it. I had to
How I'm
detox
feeling
from
right
it,
now.
man.
Me too.
How I'm
Had
feeling
to
right now, I
detox
don't
from
even
it.
want to look at fantasy. I barely even want to go on a. I haven't even been on DraftKings so bad. That's how much fantasy done killed me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
done with. Yeah, I
I'll
haven't bet
I'll
on anything in weeks.
yeah. Well, basketball, I'll be doing my basketball thing soon with in terms of like the DraftKings and Prize Picks.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay. So to I guess, wrap the subject of the power rankings. Adrian and Gary, we'll start with Gary. Gary, what are your top five right now? What do
Okay.
you
My
believe? What
top
do you believe the top five?
okay, my top five are the Seahawks because Sam Darnold is that man. Um, the Rams are my number two. Uh, I think Stafford might have a legitimate shot at the MVP this year, the way he's playing. I've got the Bills number three, as long as Cook can run, because if Cook runs for 100 yards, they win. So give him the ball, feed him the ball. Um, the Eagles are number four, because yeah, they're the champions. And then I got the Colts rounding it out, and that's mainly because of Jonathan Taylor, because he can take over a game, and Daniel Jones can have the worst game of the year and still win because this dude is just killing it. I've never seen a season where back to back where the quarterbacks usually win the MVPs, but that year the running back should have won it, just like Barkley should have won it last year.
Last year,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think Taylor's on his way to an MVP. He might be even on his way to breaking Dickerson's single season record and scoring about 25 touchdowns. I mean, I love this kid. So that's my top
Yeah.
five.
Adrian?
I'm gonna go with the Rams one. And I do think Stafford is MVP top runner right now. To be honest, that's how I feel. Number two, I think I'm gonna go with Seattle. Um, Seattle has been playing. They've been playing their butts
Lights
off.
out.
Number three, for the third one, I think I'm going with I think I might go with the Colts at three. I still got them kind of high, even though they had a terrible game against Pittsburgh, but they still were in it to possibly win it. And then Sunday. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, he's a monster. He's a monster. Him alone can keep them in the game, as we've seen. So I would put the Colts at three. Number four, I'm going with the Patriots. I like the way the Patriots look. Drake May.
Yeah.
May has been looking really good, and they got a nice defense. Their defense has
Yeah.
been playing well, and on top of that, they got a balanced offense. Their running game has been pretty no slouch either, so they're really hard. I'm tempted to put them above the Colts, but I'm still gonna ride with the Colts a little bit because the Jonathan Taylor is actually his is crazy. And then rounding out top five, I'm gonna put the Eagles at number five.
Okay.
Uh, no, I keep the
Our
Eagles at five.
our list, me and Adrian's list is the same. I have the same order. I'm gonna. I have the Rams number one because Matthew Stafford is having fun. The offensive line has been very efficient. It's a healthy offensive line. Um,
Having fun.
he's
Just keep
yes,
Nakua
he is
healthy,
having.
though.
He is
It's because of Sunday, huh? It was because of Sunday. He had fun Sunday.
no. He's been
Okay,
having
I
fun.
understand.
I
You can
mean,
tell, yeah.
you
He's
know
having a
it.
good time out there this year.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
having
yeah, he is.
a
He
lot
is.
of
I just
fun.
had.
Hmm.
Um, Seattle. I mean, they just look amazing, like a well-oiled machine. I, you know, it's going to be a really good game on
Real
Sunday
quick,
with the
real
Rams.
quick. Seattle won that game in the first quarter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was over in the first quarter.
It was
Absolutely.
like 28-0
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
And
first.
I don't
I
even know
didn't
why
even. I
Daniels
had
was
it.
still in
I
the
had
game.
split screen. Yeah. And I just was like, okay, well, end of that game. Like it was. Yeah.
I kept
Um.
checking. I thought that there was something wrong with the screen because it was like 28-0. It was still in the first half. I was like, no, that can't be right. They got to be. This game's been going on forever. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
longest first half in a long time that I can really
Yeah.
remember.
And here I thought we was
Um.
getting whooped.
Yeah. So here, all right. So let's talk about that game real quick. Real
No,
quick. Real quick.
I don't want to talk about that game. Let's just move on. Finish your list. I'm gonna move on to the next game. I don't want to talk about that game. Man. Let's not. Let's not.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So Seattle looks really good. Um. the Colts, obviously you got the best running back in the league. I mean, I don't even need to say anymore based on what we've watched him do. Um, New England is New England is just winning so confidently, right? It's like not even when they win, there's like no question marks, right? It's like they you know we see how they did, and it's not sorry teams. They're beating some of the good teams,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they
Playing
beat the
really good ball.
Buffalo, and
Yeah.
so
This ain't the New England from last year, that's
Vrabel
for
can
sure.
coach, man. That's crazy.
Vrabel's a
Vrabel can
great
coach.
coach. I think
Holy cow.
The
I think we
Tennessee
saw
Tennessee
that in
Snow.
screwed up
Tennessee.
firing him.
Yeah, they messed up, man. And
Yes,
that's, I mean, his replacement had no chance because
no,
how
absolutely not.
popular Vrabel was. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Do you think
Um,
this year might be the year that Indianapolis wins it all because of their owner
No.
dying?
no,
The
Like
conspiracy part.
like
I got you.
a
yeah,
team of destiny, or yeah, or even a conspiracy, whatever, however you want to look at it.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I brought up the New England after 9/11, and then New Orleans after the
The Hurricane
Hurricane
Trina.
Katrina.
Hmm.
I talked about that.
Will loves a good
You know,
conspiracy theory.
yeah. I mean, you know
He
what?
makes it fun.
That's a
Yeah,
good conversation, but I
we'll
do
see.
believe that uh Ursay's daughter is how she's operating the team. She's
She's one of the
doing
reasons why I bring it
exactly
up. Yeah. Hmm.
Well,
she's
then
doing exactly what I would hope. Like if I'm the owner of a team, that's exactly what I would hope whoever I leave it to is doing. She is doing everything right in my opinion in terms of she's paying attention, like she cares. Like you can tell she cares. It matters. She wants it to be, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, I will say one thing though. Just looking at it from a standpoint of talent perspective, the Colts never really had bad talent. They had bad coaching. They didn't have a good QB, but they've had Jonathan Taylor, but he's been banged up the last couple of years. Before he was doing this, like 3 years ago, the same type of thing.
Yeah.
I know because I had him on my fantasy roster, and he was killing
Until he
it.
hurt himself.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, until he got hurt. So we've always known they've always had talent. They've always had him in that backfield. And when you say Himothy, that's Himothy right there. You know what I'm saying? So he's been
I love that.
he's been a beast. It's just he just been injured the last couple of years. So who knows what they could
But
have been if he wasn't injured either. You
but
know,
Sure.
like how
if
we
you're
talked about, but like how we
Especially in that
talked about
division.
what the running game can do for you.
Hmm.
We're
Oh
seeing what the
yeah.
running game can do for you.
oh yeah,
Daniel Jones
absolutely.
has loved having great running backs that actually stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes your
Yeah.
quarterback look real good when you got to rely
Well,
on him every single play.
but
Yeah.
what I mean in terms of her being like super involved, right? So I'll give you so like with Jerry Jones, he's super involved, but his mouth does more talking than his act. Like he
Well,
does
he
too
already
much
said
talking
he
and
just
not
got to
enough.
keep the
You know what I mean?
Cowboys
Like
name relevant.
Well,
it's a
she has a GM too.
yeah, she does, right?
Yeah.
And
She's not run.
I think she works
Hmm.
I think she works with the GM. I think she's
Yeah.
very involved with the GM,
Right.
and they really like there's a nucleus, right? And I think that matters, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
When you sit back, because if I'm the owner, like I've heard the analogy that owners of football teams, like the football team is just an old car that you want to rebuild, right, and get it running, right?
Hmm.
Um, and you want to beautify it and do all these things to it and all of that, and you understand that you're probably going to lose some money, and the and then there might become a point where you do, um, where you when you do earn some money, but you have to put some money into it for that to happen. I think that. part of that is you got to be willing to work with the pieces that you bring on. You can't bring on certain pieces and then be like, I don't want to use those though. I must bypass all of that, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think she is doing a really good job, and I think it matters, and I think the players see that, right? I don't know what kind of relationship she has with the players, but I have to imagine with what I've seen that she asks questions and she probably
Yeah.
does want to build a relationship with the coaches, the players, the GM, all of that, because she wants to win. Like, this is not for fun. It is, but it's also we want to win. Like, we want to be something, and so that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Cleveland is a team. Clearly, they don't give a damn, right? So we know that there's owners out there that are like that.
Well, and I think with her, she's a lot like her dad, because her dad, with all of the substance abuse problems that he had and stuff like that,
Yeah,
his players loved him. If you talk to anybody,
Yeah.
McAfee, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, all those
yeah,
guys, they loved
Jeff
Jim
Saturday,
Irsay.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
they were.
yep,
So I think that's something she's trying. That's the tradition she's trying to continue
She's
more than
keeping it going.
anything,
uphold, yeah,
Yeah.
because she's involved, but she's not overstepping, and I think that's the
right,
big thing right there. She's learning, and she'll say that. That's why she's got the headset on and she's taking
right,
copious notes, because she's learning so that she can help them better. And I think they see that, and I think they appreciate that. And that's the difference between her and like the Panthers owner or Jerry Jones or all these other guys who think they know better than everybody else, when, all they know is money. That's why they're the
Yeah.
right,
owners.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree.
yeah. I agree with that. And that is a great, great segue into. Obviously, we're switching sports, but Nico Harrison, right? You kind of let your GM do a little bit too much. We've had the conversation. In my opinion,
They're wrong.
I've backtracked on it. When you trade Luka, and the city loves him, and it's when you trade Luka, the city's loved him, and then everything has, because we thought, oh, okay, they got Cooper Flag, it might not be so bad, right? And it was cool for a minute, and now it's like
Until he started playing. Yeah.
we get a quarter into the season, and it's like, yeah, no, this was bad, right?
I will say one thing. Let's just preference everything, because I think people are forgetting one missing element. They don't have Kyrie.
Oh yeah. Oh
Do
yeah.
you think
yes,
Kyrie
got
was
Cooper,
making a difference?
yes. But I will say this: you can't replace a Kyrie Irving with a rookie like that.
No,
can't.
absolutely not.
You
Okay.
can't
And
replace
Cooper shouldn't be
Kyrie's
running the
skill.
offense anyways.
Exactly. So you're
I
trying
agree.
to replace him with somebody that is, first of all, you. I mean, I think Cooper Flag is going to be a great pick, but we always know it's a rookie. You don't know what they're going to end up being, so
Sure.
it's
Sure.
high hopes. But when you're looking at that high hope, we were thinking, oh man, Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis,
Anthony
if they could
Davis.
stay
Yeah.
healthy, yada yada whoop de whoop. This is what you're thinking. You're in high hopes of that. So the fact that they 3-7 without Kyrie ain't surprising to me. I would think they'd
No.
be a lot better than what they are. Trust me, I do think they should be better than what they are. But it's not surprising, because Kyrie is a big player, man. Like, you losing
Sure.
somebody like that, that's a hard thing to replace, because his scoring and his playmaking ability alone is it's
Yeah.
hard to
I
replace
mean,
that. So
even Luka went to the
yeah,
championship together. Yeah.
yeah, with Kyrie, you know what I'm
With
saying? So it's just
Kyrie.
like,
Yeah. hmm
when you're
That was an
looking at it from
exciting
that
team. Yeah.
standpoint, yeah, it really was.
Kyrie
And
was
when you're looking,
non-existent in that championship, though.
that's in the championship, but the
He
what you
got
call it
him
before
there.
No, no,
that
no.
Yeah.
wasn't.
I
So
don't disagree with you.
yeah,
I don't
so it's like,
disagree with you.
but
Well,
that series before, Kyrie was actually worth something.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when you're still taking away a key element of a team, it's not like this. I'm not to segue to the Lakers, but we're kind of talking in the same breath.
Yeah.
Luka and the Lakers, but they without LeBron. But when you're looking at it, they've had oh boy, what's his name? That's been
Reeves.
lighting it up. Reeves.
Reeves. Yeah, sorry.
Reeves has been around for a couple of years already, making a name for himself, being a hot commodity. So I'm not surprised at what Reeves was doing without Luca and LeBron, because he has been showing that he can actually shoulder games, shoulder the load sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So now Luca's back into the offense, and it's just 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and who's
With
the
the
kid
bringing in the Luca.
Achimura or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
Rui
Hachimura. Yeah,
Hachimura.
I
Hachimura. Yeah,
think
Rudy
And they
Hachimura.
I think he was. I
hmm
think when the Lakers were close to beating the Nuggets, or the Lakers when they were swept by the Nuggets, and even the year before that, when Achimura was having a good game, the Lakers were a better
hmm
team than the Nuggets because he could defend against Joker. And there's
Hmm.
not. I mean, Anthony Davis couldn't, but then they kept putting Anthony Davis on Joker, and that's when we would win. And I think if this kid can step up too, in addition to how great Luka is and how great Reeves is, he's looking so far this year. Um, yeah, I mean, he might even
Well,
be a
I would
step up
say,
from Anthony Davis right now.
and I would say one thing about those series with the Denver team: when Anthony Davis was actually putting up his numbers and not being inconsistent, they were dead right in
Oh,
those
sure.
games,
Well,
because
he was
Anthony
disappearing in the,
Davis
the
was the
last end of the game. Yeah.
and that's the problem, because Anthony Davis had to shoulder so much during that time too.
Yeah.
He
Sure.
couldn't do it by himself.
Well,
But or LeBron was there,
well.
he was
Here's
present,
the thing.
but
Here, here's the thing. That trade, the trade, Dallas. Nico Harris made that trade thinking of the now, right? He wanted to win
facts.
now, and I think he thought
Mhm.
that he could win now, making that trade. So regardless
hmm
of the injuries, it doesn't. That's part of the game, right? That's
Yeah.
part of
Right.
it. So you made that
Mhm.
trade to win now, and the winning hasn't happened. Now, granted, we're early in the season, and they have plenty of time to bounce back, right? We don't know what changes when Anthony Davis comes back. We don't
Yeah.
know. Kyrie might be back at the All-Star break, but the trade clearly right now has benefited the Lakers
Sure.
more, and the reason
Sure.
it has is because when LeBron doesn't play, when Anthony Davis was there, LeBron doesn't play, the team doesn't quite look the same. Without LeBron now, even without Luka, I think they've been able to um, maintain a certain level of style and play. That just Anthony Davis. Not taking anything away from him, but I just think that
The only
Luca
thing you can
brought something else to the table, and I think that helped develop Reeves a little bit, even just that little bit from last year, and even
mm,
just this year. I think it brings a different sense of urgency, in my
I
opinion. Yeah, I
agree.
mean,
Personally, I think Reeves is already trending in that direction where he's at right now.
I thought he was. He's had
but
good.
Even
He's
no,
had good
before
runs.
Luca came, he was
Luca
trending
helped.
upward.
Luca helped with that.
No, Reeves was
Yeah,
looking
I can say
good
he
as
had
well
some,
against
but
the Nuggets and
Reeves was
stuff. Yeah.
already
I
trending
know
like
how he was
this.
looking. I
He
watched
was
the
trending
Lakers.
like this. Matter of
Believe me.
fact, Reeves is the reason they would not trade Reeves from their team, because Reeves is already a
Yeah,
hot
I know.
commodity.
That's why
So
they put Dalton
Luca
Connect
had
up instead of Reeves.
See,
exactly,
I
exactly. But
always, I
Reeves was
always thought
already kind of
Nico.
doing this because he was a beast.
Sure. I always thought Nico had a personal problem with Luca. Um,
He probably
and that's
did.
Yes,
why he
that's
he he sent him away.
that's a big part
And
of it.
and his his tenure as the GM was extended because they won the lottery. I mean, that's why they call it a lottery.
Yeah.
In all
Them getting the
honesty,
number one overall pick, that extended his tenure, and then the only way that he would have stayed on, even as long as he did, is if Cooper would have just, become overnight the player that they think he can be for his career. And
Yeah.
yeah, if they were for at least had a better record than the Lakers, but with, like you said, Kyrie being hurt, and Cooper not being a point guard,
hmm
they were just his time was ticking anyways.
but
And
my other
go
thing
ahead.
about this is just this: how much do we put on the onus of the some of the onus on the owners themselves?
But the owners were okay with him doing it.
Exactly. My
But
point exactly. Mark Cuban, who was the previous owner, of course, he said he would have never traded him.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
So if Mark Cuban was in that position, the
but
GM Nico would have never had that
but
been able
Nico
to
brought
trade
it.
him.
Nico brought it to the owners, and the owners pretty much said, "If you think it works, then do it."
Well,
yeah.
Right.
that's why I
But
say
that's not
Well,
who.
maybe
But
you
they're
that's
just
only
owners. They're
but
owners
you
that aren't
only give
overstepping.
him.
They're letting their GM be the
that's
I
GM.
mean that
yeah.
and let him GM a full season with this full roster. That's how I feel. If you're gonna do that, why cut him so early in the season? You're only
Be,
10 games,
yeah, but I don't think
and
they were going to keep him around.
you can't help injuries. I would have just
Yeah,
got rid of him before when he came with the idea of
The
trading him.
fans don't want to hear that.
If you really wanted to be like that,
yeah,
I mean they
The
just
fans are a big part
I
of it.
mean
The fans are a
they
big part of
Dallas
big
why he got
part,
fired.
exactly
big part.
exactly they Dallas fans.
Well,
They
they
ain't
were
Cowboy
talking
might be
about
Cowboy
that
fans too. So
on
there's
social
that.
media with Cooper's folks and stuff. So it's been fun to watch on social media too, because Cooper's
Yeah.
mom is like, they can't even, they can't even make free throws and stuff because of all the chattering that's going on in the stands with
But see, and that's
Fire
the
Nico
problem
and
though.
stuff. And
Like, and that kind of when you really think about it, some of that stuff that hurts your team, even your fans. If your fans have turned against you because they at the at
then
odds
he's
with the
got to go.
GM,
Yeah.
Says as an
yeah, the
owner, you
GM's
got to
got
do
to go
something about
because
it.
of the pressure. Yeah, but at the same time, the players got to hear that chatter. That fire Nico, yeah, that's great, but you ain't doing nothing for my team. Still bad. Still looking like a bad product out there, and y'all ain't supporting the product in general. You know, whatever.
Let me ask you a question, Adrian. Would you have made that trade?
No, of course I wouldn't have.
Okay, Gary, would you have made that trade?
No, no,
I
no.
think
He's no.
I
Yeah. I mean, there's when your best player, you don't trade your best player. Your most
yeah.
popular
I
player. All of
Especially
the
coming
above.
off of a coming off of a championship run.
yeah.
Even though we didn't win
S-
it, I'm not breaking up my team. That's just me.
So
No, yeah,
so
yeah. You
here's
think
the
there's nothing but,
exactly.
especially he's young. He's got so many years ahead of him. I mean, I mean, that's why everybody just scratching their head when that trade happened,
But that's why
because it
Right.
didn't make
but
no
that's why
sense.
I'm looking at it from not just the GM perspective, but your owner's perspective. What does your
But
owner want your team to look like?
let's say
I
the
Yeah,
can't
the
throw
owner.
it
owners
all on the
dropped the ball
GM
too.
because the
Yeah,
owner can
sure.
Yeah,
actually
But you
but
can't
let's say
oversee
the
fire
what the
owner
owners.
GM
said
wants.
you can't.
No,
Let's say
you
the
can't.
owner
But the
said.
owners can do something else with it. They
But
could be
let's
like,
say the
no, we ain't gonna
owners.
do that. We firing you now.
Let's say the owner
But
said, "Hey, if this doesn't work, you're gone next year.
yeah,
Like if you want to pull the trigger, pull the trigger. But if it doesn't work, you're gone next year.
yeah. Well,
If we don't look
yeah.
good next year, you're gone."
But
The
that's
owners
the
possibly
other.
could have said that.
But see, that is the
I
other bad
can't
part about
see
it because
letting
of the fact
your best player go.
you. Yeah, I can't see it. But the other bad part about it, let's just say that was what they stated. You're only 10 games into a new year. You're
Yeah.
only 10.
So so the
I don't want to. I don't want to hear anything else besides you haven't even been given a chance to do what you need to do. Because
pressure, man, pressure.
we could sit here, and well, that pressure
But
you should have
but
known was going
wasn't
to
what
be
he
there
was?
because of how big Luka has been to Dallas as an owner. You are there every single. I'm sure you know exactly how big Luka has been to your team because you wasn't just the
Absolutely.
owner. Y'all was there when they was that championship team.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you allow him to pull this and you say you're going to give him leeway, I don't want to hear pressure because pressure should have been like, nah, we know how big Luka is to our team. I'm not getting rid of him. You allowed it, so therefore let the man do what he's supposed to do. This is what you allowed him to do. So give him at least a half a season to see where y'all at. That's just me. That's just me personally because I understand the pressure, but you allowed this man to do that. Now, Nico, for and who's to say that we ain't heard it from a different perspective? What if the owners say we want to move Luka?
Is it maybe they've said we want to move? Because remember, they took on ownership. They took on ownership, and it was kind of mid season, right? And they took on ownership, right? Let's say let's
So what if?
let's say when they took this on, Nico fed them because if it was a personal thing, like some people say, it was a personal thing, him just not liking Luka, and they fed him, hey, he's not conditioned. He's too heavy. Remember that was the conversation. He's too fat. He's not conditioned. They talked about the amount of drinking and the smoking at the hookah lounges and the amount of food that he eats. And he's not going to be healthy in 2 years because of what all of those narratives came out. So if
weren't
I'm
narratives,
a GM,
that was true.
it clearly didn't stop his play on the court?
It didn't matter, but they were actually true because when we
Okay,
look at Luka, ain't never seen Luka look like this at the LA like he looks in the LA right now.
But listen,
he didn't go across. He didn't go overseas. He stayed here and worked out, and he lost a lot of weight because of what those narratives was out on him.
Adrian, if you're Nico, right, and I come into an ownership thing mid-season, and you're telling me all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know all of that, and I'm like, oh man, all right, man, we might want to try to get what we can get for him now because he's a star, but we don't want no player that's gonna be there out here like not taking care of themselves. They might not make it like 2 more years because the condition of their body. I'm like, all right, yeah, go pull that trigger, right? Like, because we got to get what we can get. But you selling me that, right? And then he goes to LA.
Exactly.
Hey, again,
you telling me nobody else in the NBA would have wanted to give him something better than Anthony Davis?
Real quick though, I understand where you're coming from with that that logic, but you as an owner, with all he's saying about they come in mid-season or whatever, you as a owner have seen your team with this guy that is so beat up and so out of shape and so takes y'all to a championship. Who am I believing?
How do you think?
What am I believing? My eyes or what you told me? Because what I'm seeing on the court doesn't match up with my eyes. If you're not watching your games, you're a bad owner.
If you're Rob Pelinka, right, with the Lakers,
Rob Pelinka, he got a heist on that one, boy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what if I'm Rob Pelinka, and Nico Harrison throws that on the table, I'm like,
you goddamn.
I'm like,
I'm pulling the trigger.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that might can be a possibility. It sounds interesting. No, I'm not trying to No, you don't want to oversell it. You don't want to oversell it. You're like, yeah, that might can because you want to kind of make it.
But see, I understand you kind of wanted to be like that, but he's coming to me for the trade. Yeah. I didn't come to him.
Yeah. So he won the lottery before the Mavericks won the lottery. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'll pull. Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah,
what?
We'll do that.
He's like,
do that.
Who is this really?
I'll be happy just to tell him that too.
You right?
Because
he's like, no.
The reason why I put myself in that position of being happy and I'm not gonna undersell it. The reason why I wouldn't undersell it is because Nico, you know what you got.
Yeah.
You've been there for years. You know what you got. You know what I got. So if this is what you're going with, Oh yeah, I could do
Okay.
that. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from a win-win situation for me.
Yeah.
It's danged if
Very
you do,
true.
danged if you don't. But the other thing is, I just have a problem when it becomes somebody, and I understand the fire Nico because he's stupid to do that trade in general. You know, I can see what you're trying to do. If I was to sit here and break it down from a roster perspective, let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say Anthony Davis doesn't have an injury history at
Sure.
all.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's just say that. When you're looking at a team construct,
Yeah.
what looks
No
better,
one.
Luka
Oh.
and Kyrie, or Luka and or Kyrie and Anthony Davis?
Oh.
I got a big man and a point guard, or two people that are ball dominant. What looks
Sure.
better as a
Sure.
team?
Yeah. I'm
And
with you.
then if you are taking that, but we know the history of Anthony Davis, so that was stupid. But
Right.
if Anthony Davis doesn't have an injury problem, and you're looking at numbers, pure numbers for when Anthony Davis is healthy, his numbers are Hall of Fame numbers right off the rip. He's giving you 25, 27, 10,
Sure.
15, whatever. You're looking at
Yeah.
old school type of. And plus, he's a block and a steal. He's going to play defense on both sides of the ball, and he's an offensive powerhouse. When you're looking at from a skill set point, Anthony
Sure.
Davis is a better package than Luka Doncic would be
Well,
because Luka doesn't have the same type of defense Anthony Davis could bring to your team
yeah.
as well.
And you remember back in the beginning of his career when everybody asked if you were starting an NBA team, who are you taking? And everyone was saying Anthony Davis because that's how
Davis,
good he
yeah.
was. Yeah. Yeah. But
Healthy, he's a beast, but
Yeah.
he ain't been healthy, so
Yes,
that's a
yeah.
stupid trade.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
But we're
problem,
talking
is
we're
because
talking
he ain't
about
been healthy, so it's a stupid trade.
yeah. Yeah.
But if he was healthy, you can't sit here and say definitely
Then
that
it's a good trade.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't trade Luka for Anthony Davis. It would be
No
dumb.
doubt.
But we know
No
Anthony
doubt.
Davis' history. We know Luka gets banged up from time to time, but Anthony Davis is out way more. So that's where I come
Yeah.
in, where it becomes like that's a
Well,
stupid deal. But from a team
and
construct, if you
yeah.
could,
Yeah. No, and I want a player that maybe might have a little bit of a drinking problem and maybe a little bit of a weight problem over a
yeah,
guy who just has
yes,
glass ankles and knees.
correct,
Right.
correct.
Right.
But
'Cause
I
I
will
can
say,
work with that.
if and it's always going to be an if factor, you know what I'm saying? Because
Sure.
if Kyrie doesn't go down to injury, will we be saying the same thing? We don't know what we would have got.
It'd be a
They
different.
could have been in the playoffs if Kyrie doesn't go down with an injury. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
True.
He goes down with an injury, you got what you got. Let's just say Kyrie didn't have this bad of an injury and he was available for the beginning of the year. So you got Kyrie now in slotted running the point. You know he can score. You know he can run the point. Cooper Flag goes to his traditional position, which should be a small forward. You know what I'm saying? Playing his traditional positions.
Position.
Then you
Right.
got Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, when you have it constructed the right way, takes pressure off of other people. Like Anthony
But
Davis
yeah.
ain't got to be out there trying to be this big time scorer or whatever because Kyrie can shoulder that load. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though we know Anthony Davis, he trip on a shoestring, he might lose his whole leg. You
Well,
know,
yeah. And you
so
can't construct your team with your fingers crossed, like what the
yeah,
Phoenix Suns did
exactly.
for all them years, with Booker
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Durant and all the injury problems they have.
Oh Lord.
In theory, it should be a
See,
great team, but
Phoenix was blindfolded and just threw a dart at the dartboard, thought it hope it stuck somewhere. Because you picking up Bradley Beal was even dumber.
yeah,
Like
and he's injury
oh
prone.
boy,
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
and you can't trade him.
can't.
No
Yep.
trade clause.
I would have never picked up Bradley Beal.
Ooh.
Not to say he can't ball when he's healthy. It's
It's
just the fact that he didn't fit that team at all.
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's
Oh yeah. Another Booker.
well, it's the same, and we see that more often now. Like a lot of the stars are not. You could talk about Kawhi, right? Like I would never trade for Kawhi because I'm like I know what I'm gonna get. He's not playing all season. Right?
Or
He's
Embiid.
probably missing. He's probably missing 50% of the season, right?
Embiid too.
And so if we make the playoffs, well, you're gonna probably get a good product, but it's still a risk, right? And
Hmm.
it's there's so much talent out there, but it just doesn't, like
Yeah.
it's and so Anthony Davis, great. Zion Williamson,
Yeah,
such a
another
talent when
one.
he's on the court.
Yeah,
I'd never
Yeah.
trade for him because he'd
Yeah.
never, you know what I mean?
yep.
Yeah. He doesn't. You can't rely on him to stay healthy. That's the biggest problem.
And
Yeah,
it's
That's why I
so
say,
many good players like that right now. So many good ones like that right now.
yeah,
They're good when they're there, but they're not there.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know. Um, I wanted to ask y'all a question.
Oh wow, I just see this here. It says Anthony Davis reportedly mulling an in-season trade after Nico Harrison firing.
Really,
Oof.
That's from That's from Sports Illustrated.
really.
That was an hour ago.
So,
Wow.
who- so where would be a good fit for Anthony Davis right now?
He can come to Chicago. Come on home.
Chicago, Chicago could be a good fit.
Yeah, he come on home. You know what I'm saying?
Chicago could be, but Boston might can use him.
Nah, he can come on to Chicago. I don't want Boston to get nothing.
Hey, so I was actually gonna bring up Boston because
I don't want
Tatum,
Boston to
I've
get nothing.
I've been critical of Tatum throughout his career, mostly because they always they like kind of on the sneak they talk about him and Kobe together, and Kobe's one of my favorite players. Like just
Oh, yeah.
numbers aside, just Kobe's one of my favorite players. Just the Mamba mentality, all of that.
In all
So
fairness, they basically base that off of because he worked with Kobe and he
I
brings
I
that
know.
same mentality. So
I've been critical, but
it ain't a one-on-one comparison.
here's what I do know. Right, there's no more argument on whether it's Tatum's team or Jaylen Brown's team. We know this is
No,
Tatum's team.
it never was an argument for
There
me.
was a slight when it was talking about the contracts when both of them was up for contract. There was a slight conversation. We know that this is Tatum's team because without Tatum, Jaylen Brown out there looking like I
Well,
ain't saying he's bad,
yeah.
but he ain't looking good.
Well, and for a long time
He ain't
there,
superstar.
they were. I thought they were on the same level, and then Tatum stepped it up. I think Tatum progressively got better than Jaylen Brown,
Yeah,
and up to the point where they won the championship. And even so
yeah,
yeah,
definitely had
it's
a higher ceiling. Even though
yeah, yeah,
Brown played better than them in that
yeah.
championship series.
Oh yeah, Brown. But
I think Brown was able to do that because Tatum's on the court.
Yeah, that's just facts.
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Well, and I don't think the
I looked up.
Mavericks
It's a
showed up.
it's a whole Batman and Robin situation. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure,
Batman and Robin are better together than they are just separate entities.
sure,
Ain't
sure.
nobody. Everybody's going to the Batman show. Ain't nobody trying to watch a movie with Robin only. I
And
hate to say it.
I
That's how it is.
just the handful of games that I've watched Boston, I was like, oh yeah, they need Tatum. Like they
Sure.
need Tatum. They're just not it without him.
Let's see
Um,
what also happens though when you have Tatum on the court. Tatum gives them that. Tatum's a better 3-point shooter than Brown, and they love to shoot threes. A lot of
oh
those
yeah,
games where you see them going off and you got Pritchard going off and stuff, Tatum's probably jacking up about 10, 12 of those threes and hitting at least 6. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
he's going off some way, or he's a better facilitator to me than Brown is. So Tatum is a better, I say they about equally defensively, because I think Brown's a good defensive player, a pretty solid one anyway. But overall, I think Tatum is the whole overall better player. He gets a lot when he gets hot, it's game over.
Sure.
Literally, when Tatum
Sure.
is hot, it's game over.
Sure.
I don't see that same thing when Brown's on there and he gets hot. Yeah, you still might be in the game, but Tatum's hot, it's over. Ball game.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. I guess to close, well, not close things out, but like talk about, you brought up, you wanted to talk about the Lakers, and if LeBron comes back, how does the team look, and what are your thoughts? Elaborate on that.
Well, my thought was really just coming from we see how they look without LeBron right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thought process is what happens, and this is based upon previous years. They always say LeBron needs help. LeBron needs
Right.
help. And I heard something today that was like, I think I was watching like First Take. It was either yesterday or today, something like that. And they were saying that, you know, when LeBron comes back, they're going to be they need LeBron for them to be a championship team. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, do they? Because what happens if LeBron comes back and they start losing? Are we going to say that LeBron needs help? Or are we going to say that LeBron is the one that causes problems? Are
That's
they going
fair.
to
Are
look
they
the same?
are they a championship team without LeBron though? I don't think so.
I don't think they're a championship team with LeBron either.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I don't
But
think
yeah,
adding
you're right. You're
LeBron.
right.
I
I
don't think
think
adding
I
LeBron's going to
think
make them worse. So I
I
mean,
think they're a playoff. I think they're a playoff team regardless. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to
With
be
or
a
yeah,
without
playoff
LeBron.
maybe
team with or
you think.
without LeBron. Just because Luka,
When you got
we
Luka,
just
yeah.
talked about it. Luka is just that good. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about what they did with Luka in Dallas. So and Reeves is starting to kind of elevate his game, and they're kind
Hmm.
of they're kind of playing really good together. All the pieces are starting to kind of work. DeAndre Ayton, when they were out, he's been on a little pretty good streak. You know, we
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
talk
I've noticed
about
that.
Rui
I've been impressed
Hachimura.
with him.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so we're talking about Rui Hachimura, and we're talking about a team moving like a team. Sometimes, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but sometimes when you bring back a star like LeBron, when he does come back, everybody's role is going to dynamically change. It's just how it. It's just usually how it's going to work.
Right.
LeBron has a certain style that he has to. Let's just go through his history of league of his time when he was winning. There's a certain style of play that teams play with LeBron when LeBron's on the team because that's
Right.
how LeBron plays. With Luca now being there, of course, their dynamic's going to have to be a little more different because we're not going to be playing that same type of team, the LeBron way as it's been. So, but putting them back in is kind of like you're wondering how is it really going to mesh together when LeBron comes back? Does it become LeBron playing more off ball and Luca doing more of the ball handling? Do we put LeBron back onto the ball to be ball handling?
Right.
Has his game, and he's always been trying to evolve his game, but is he going to be more involved, or is his game evolved much to where he's going to be more of a better off-ball player? Will it work with their system? Do you stagger Luca and LeBron throughout the game? Like when Luca's on the bench, LeBron's in. When LeBron's on the bench, does Luca come in? Do you play them together? It's so many things that I look at, but I was just wondering because I just had that notion of thought process because it's always we need to get LeBron more help because when teams don't work out, it's always LeBron needs more help. Now I'm looking at it from the standpoint they're hot right now. When he comes back, if they start falling down to mediocrity, do we say that Luca needs more help? Do we say that LeBron is causing problems, or is he the reason why they're not meshing together anymore? How? What would that narrative be like if it does falter? Now, I don't think it's going to. I think they're going to still be riding pretty good. But what happens if that was the case? Will we be saying
I
something like
think
LeBron
I
causing this
I think
problem, or what?
I think LeBron should be looking right now and saying, I've been in this league a long time. I want the team to continue to gel. I want to be a great teammate. I need to play my role, right? So what can I do to for us to continue this? And so if it means less shooting, less points for me, that's what it's going to
Less
be.
money.
And if it means less whatever it
There should have
takes,
been less money a long time
Right.
yeah.
ago.
But whatever it takes from what I'm seeing right now, whatever it takes, I need to take a step back if need be. Take a step back and let this train keep rolling the way it's rolling. But no knock on LeBron, but that ain't LeBron's character, because we know it's about LeBron and nothing else is bigger, right? So, and it's not nothing to say nothing bad about him, as I've stated before. Like, when I speak of LeBron, like, it's not an hate of the man or nothing like that, because the father that he is, the businessman that he is, the humanitarian that he is, I respect all of that. The My issue has always been more of some of the on court things and some of the team things, right? When the goalpost moves when they're not winning, LeBron needs help, and some of those things. And there's been some times where he did need some help, and there's been some
Yeah,
times where
this
he
is
didn't.
facts.
But I don't think that you would ever get a narrative where if they started losing when
It's his
LeBron
fault.
came back, that people would blame LeBron. Like, I don't think that narrative would ever be a thing, personally.
It won't.
Um,
More than likely not. I
because
just thought it was. It just
it
came to my
is
mind.
See,
Like,
right.
it's an interesting thought process. Would we look at it from that standpoint, or will it just be they just ain't meshing well? But then
you
that
think so?
poses a problem. If they ain't meshing well, then do we trade LeBron? I mean,
No, no.
I feel like the narrative about LeBron is different now, though. I think if it does start to go bad, I mean, are we going to point the finger at JJ Redick? Are we going to point the finger at LeBron? I mean, is there a little bit of
that's
everything to
another
go
thing.
around? I mean,
They'd point it more at
I think
JJ before
now,
LeBron.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think they will. I think the narrative on LeBron is, yeah, he's still a top 10 player in the league as far as I'm concerned when he's healthy. Because, I mean, you look at his numbers last year, but um, those
Still good.
numbers are kind of those numbers are kind of inflated a little bit as well because
They're skewed.
everything went through him, and
Hmm.
was JJ gonna step up and be a coach and say, no, we need the ball to go through Luka, we need you to be, the the shooting forward that that you can be, or um, who knows, maybe even he might be a good um, power forward. I don't know, I mean, maybe he's too old to be a
Yeah.
power forward,
Yeah.
but you know,
No,
um,
he's still
Not in
strong.
this
especially if
league.
he's
Not in
got
today's
sciatic
league.
problems, um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he's
He
got
got
that's
some
back
true.
serious
problems,
problems.
then he can't be a power forward.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and maybe with the sciatic problem, we're going to see him back on a limited basis. He's going to have. I mean, he's already been kind of a, because we had the game management conversation a couple weeks ago. He's always been
Yeah.
a game management kind of guy, and maybe that's even going to happen more. I think there's a lot of possibilities, but I would look to JJ. I don't know what kind of coach he is yet, because this is only his second year. Um, but maybe he steps up and actually becomes the coach that they
About to say
hired him
he
for,
he
which is to hire,
he
to
should
manage
feel.
that big personality.
Yeah, he should be very comfortable as far as JJ is going, because really think
The type
about
of
it,
he's the
the Lakers are moving towards this is gonna be Luka's team. This is no
Hmm.
longer we
exactly,
don't have
yeah.
to
Oh,
we
yeah.
done already did our
Yeah.
last good deed that we really had to
Well,
do with you. We
well,
got your son onto our team.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fulfilled a dream there. So now it's like, well, we're moving towards Luka's way. Now
Yeah.
uh
Well, I think
JJ
that, and
should
that
be
fell
able to
into their
say,
lap. Yeah.
okay, you
Yeah.
yeah, so he should be able to say like, "Well, this is how we're gonna move this, LeBron. This is
Yeah.
how we're gonna
And
move. This is how we're
Right.
gonna go.
and
You
Right.
could
and
be
if you
with it,
said if
or
yeah, and if LeBron wants to win the championship, like he says he does, and like we know that he wants the championship because he cares about his
Right.
legacy. Um,
Yeah,
then the best way for him to win that championship right now is to just be a good teammate, you know,
for
and
sure.
Yep. Let him ride the hot
and
hand.
yeah, oh yeah, just get out of the way, more than anything.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
for sure.
but we'll see. But it's LeBron,
We'll,
so we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I
Can
see.
just
he
thought it
do
was an
that?
interesting thought
I
process
do
that
too. I do
Was
it
too.
would be interesting to
very,
see what happens when he does come back.
very, very. Uh, does anybody want to do a player that should be talked about? Y'all must have forgot.
Well, I
No.
did like technically like 2 last week, so
Yeah. Gary, you got nobody?
No, I mean I just read that Paul Skeens won the Cy Young for the
Oh
National
yeah.
League, and Skubal won the American League Cy Young. Um,
Yeah.
I think his days in Pittsburgh are numbered.
You
I
think
would
so?
love to say that. I would love to. I mean, Pittsburgh, they're not going to be able to afford him once he becomes a free agent
No. No.
because this is only his like second year, and he's winning the Cy Young, Rookie of the Year last year, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
And he is such a big. I mean, he's got a New York or Los Angeles, destination. It's gonna
Yeah, I was gonna
happen.
say he wouldn't stay
Yeah.
anyway. Like he wouldn't
No,
stay.
I don't think he could. I mean, I don't think the Pirates can afford him. So I
No,
hope they
no.
enjoy him while they have him. I'm
Yeah,
sorry for the
they have
Pittsburgh
to.
Pirates fans because in this day and
I
age,
feel so bad. I
you can't
don't
afford to
feel
keep
bad for
up
them. Yeah, yeah.
because you're a Cardinals fan. Yeah, I
Exactly.
do because I
Exactly.
hate the Cardinals because they keep stealing all our guys. But yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I think that's it's almost where is he gonna go next?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
which is too
Okay.
bad because
Fair enough.
I'd
Fair
like
enough.
to see all the little teams have a shot too.
Shot. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Well, that
well,
concludes our
Big,
episode. As
Big Will,
always,
didn't you want to talk about Wimbayama real quick?
so I kind of did a TikTok on
Yeah.
this. And it was in response to some of my friends at the J Squared podcast, and I just wanted the brakes to be pumped a little bit on
Sure.
putting Victor in the conversation of if this continues, him being the
The
GOAT.
coach,
Oh
right?
It's
God, no.
way,
That's what I've been hearing
God,
way,
too.
no.
way too early.
We ain't doing this,
Way
Yeah.
are
too
we?
Come
early.
on,
Hey,
guys.
We
listen to
already
Yeah.
me.
starting this?
Listen. With an
Yeah.
8 foot wingspan, I'd like to hope that you can dunk. With the 8 foot wingspan, I hope
Well,
that you can have that many
but
blocks.
The hype is
ESPN's
real.
been
They
feeding
putting
that
on him.
narrative too, though, man. ESPN's
That's
been
so
like
crazy.
just slobbering over the guy this year.
Like
He had
for
a
Yeah,
couple
real.
good
yeah,
I
games,
mean,
and you're like, God, it's not. I mean, he literally missed half of last season because of an injury. Did we
yeah,
forget that already? I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah.
and my thing, and I've watched one of them. I think they was playing the Rockets. It was one of the first game or something like that they had played, and I'm just like, he's doing things that he should be doing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not this, that now. I will say that a 7'5" guy being able to dribble like that is kind of different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And shooting,
Yes.
but we're in a shooters league now, so him shooting ain't
yeah.
really.
Ain't
It's
yeah.
not shockingly that it's happening because we've seen people like Embiid is a 7-footer that was shooting threes.
Well,
He's
and
just
Dirk.
7'5". He's a
Yeah,
little taller. Dirk is
yeah.
7-footer that used to shoot threes.
Hmm.
Had a post game. You know, there's a lot of things that I see within Embiid. I mean, if Wembanyama can, if he starts showing me a different type of post game, but some of the stuff they like, it was exciting about him blocking a guy that was in the lane shooting the ball. It was like, oh, he got it. I'm like, he's 7'5" with a, at least an 8-foot wingspan.
It's
Yeah.
yep.
And
It's
it's
8
not
foot.
amazing that he can close out on a guy for a
He's being a
block.
defender in
Like,
the paint. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
like really?
Yeah, with a 8 foot
It's like, did we not
wingspan.
just sit? I mean, like, y'all are so impressed by this, but back in the day, in the dang 80s and stuff, we had people like Manute Bol getting 5, 6, 7 blocks a game.
Yeah.
They were 7
Or
something. It wasn't a big deal then. So now,
Dikembe,
surprisingly,
yeah.
that great.
Yeah,
Dikembe
Dikembe
used to kill
Mutombo.
shots off. They used to. Mark Eaton, he
That's-
leads the.
Oh, yeah.
Mark
Eaton.
Eaton,
That's a
that
great
dude was a
name.
blocking
Bro,
machine.
like, he
Fun
was like
fact.
7'4".
Fun fact: when he led the league in blocks, he was like 200 more blocks more than Hakeem had.
Well, he had more blocks than points.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't
And
want
it's
him
like
to get
now-
anywhere near the offensive paint.
Like,
Yeah,
he did this,
just block
and
shots.
It's just crazy. And he did this reverse dunk, and everybody went crazy. And I'm like, really? He didn't even have to jump.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like,
Like
what are we
when
so,
when he dunked on Kevin Durant, I was like, I hope so. Like,
Yeah.
I know.
How many
Kevin
people-
Durant's like 80 years old.
It's kind of like it's kind of like this. It's kind of like
I'm
this.
like,
It's
I hope
where
so.
was all that? It was like it's like
Right.
Yao Ming dunking on Shaq that one time. Were you really gonna be surprised that Yao Ming can dunk on Shaq? Yao Ming was already 7'5" himself.
Yeah.
Weighed every bit of 300 something pounds, so he's just as big as Shaq. He was a little bit
Right.
smaller than Shaq, yes, but he's taller, so it looks like he's thinned out more. But were you
Right.
surprised that Yao Ming can dunk on Shaq? I mean, that wasn't
Exactly.
surprising to me. He's a big dude. All he got to do is turn around. I mean, come on, man.
That's
Like,
it.
like some of the things, like I would give it. The dribbling thing is kind of like it's kind of a little impressive, but we didn't see
Right.
KD. We know that there has been a specimen, like even though he don't get the shot, he ain't as polished or whatever.
Right.
Bol at Baylor was doing what Wembanyama is doing right now.
Yeah.
Bol
So-
got injured, therefore his draft stock plummeted when Miyama came in. But Bol was projected to be a number 2 pick or something like that when he was about to come out, but he got injured. But Bol was 7'3", doing the
Just like his
same
dad,
type of
yeah.
moves, dribbling
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. And Manute Bol was pretty good too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's not like we have, and then it's funny because people used to get on. They try to fire at Shaq when they talked about when Shaq was like, "This is not new. We seen somebody in the league that can do
Yeah.
it." Bol.
Shaq said
You
that.
mentioned Bol.
Well,
Bol can do
Ralph,
all these
Ralph
things.
Sampson
The problem
could
is,
do that same thing too.
Yes.
People don't remember
Exactly.
him back in the day.
and it's just
Exactly.
like we've seen it. The problem
Yeah.
is they never was. Bol. He got injured, and he never had another chance to really
Yeah.
To
be
show.
developed into something like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
And of course, you also got to think about work ethics and things like that. He might not have the work ethics to get these type of things because you can always try to put yourself in that. But it's great to see him doing. I hope I have
I
high
hope
hopes
he's
for the
healthy,
guy.
yeah.
Hey, I hope he stay healthy and
Yeah,
have a
me
great
too.
career. But let's not put him in a GOAT conversation because he's 7'5" and he can do all this extra stuff. See, this is the stuff with the media that gets me riled up and mad about because
Yep.
like. It's
Yep.
something that you're supposed to be doing. You're a 7'5". If you were 7'5" and you laid the ball up literally inches from the rim, I'm taking you out if I'm the coach. Get your butt on this dang bench, bro.
Yeah, you better dunk it.
That's just like
Yeah.
old boy from Florida. The boy from Florida we talked about, 7'9".
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 7'9". If this dude who don't have to jump at all, he can grab the rim literally by holding his hand up, and he's
Hits
on
his
the.
head on it, yeah.
If this big boy don't dunk the ball, I swear,
You're out.
go do some physics or something, bro. Because you ain't playing on my team. You might as well go ahead and get off my team. 'Cause if I dump this ball to you and you down in that paint, you better just turn around and just do this.
That's it.
That's easy points.
Right.
That's all you got to do. Are we shocked? Are we gonna be shocked that he dunks on somebody?
Hopefully not. You know how the media do.
Hopefully he makes it to the league because sometimes people that tall don't really make it to the league like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as always, appreciate y'all, Adrian, Gary.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
y'all sitting with me. And appreciate the fans that watch the show. Check us out, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And we'll see y'all back next week.
All right, y'all.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.